You're listening to Mortgage Lending Mastery. Get the knowledge you need to advance your mortgage practice quickly and efficiently from Jen Duplessis, America's Mortgage Mastery mentor with over 37 years of experience and over $1 billion in lifetime fundings. Jen has been mentoring loan officers and realtors for over 15 years and speaking on stages across the globe. So settle in and get ready as Jen and her guests share their experience, passion, and strategies to help you crack the top producer code to reach new heights in your business. And now, here's your host, Jen Duplessis, Mortgage Mastery Mentor and head chick in charge of Kinetic Spark Consulting.
Hi there, everyone, and welcome back to Mortgage Lending Mastery. I'm your host, Jen Duplessis, and today with me, I have a dear friend of mine, Brandon Barnum with HOA.com. He's the CEO of HOA.com, and many of you are thinking, wait a minute, HOA, Homeowners Association. That is actually not the case. We're going to talk about this here in a moment. We'll talk about the history of it as well. And I'm so excited for everybody today because as we're recording this, and releasing this, the first part of 2023, everybody's talking about what is so important about, the things that we're doing. And I always say your future is a series of nows. What you're doing right now depicts what your future is going to be 30, 60, and 90 days from today, let alone the whole year, right? So without further ado, welcome, Brandon. So happy to have you on the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Jen. Thanks so much for the invitation.
Absolutely. So let's get started with a little bit about your history. And let's also let everybody know that you're going to be a speaker at our Limitless virtual event in March. And we'll put a link in here. I know we'll put a link in here for that. And most likely you're going to be speaking at my Limitless in-person event in May, because that's going to be held in Phoenix or Scottsdale or one of those places, right? So we're going to be in that general vicinity. And so if you want to have an opportunity to meet Brandon face-to-face, hopefully his calendar will allow that. So Brandon, tell us a little bit about your experience, right? What you're passionate about, some of your experiences, some of your gifts that you had, have now, but that you brought in from, your past experience in the business, and then we'll start talking about what HOA is today.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so my story is probably similar to some of y'all's that are listening, but I got in the mortgage business back in 1997. I was in my late 20s. I was a single dad, had custody of my son, and got in the business. I was making 20 grand a year before that, and I had a mentor that taught me the art and science of raving referrals. So I built referral partnerships. I actually built an online platform back then to help feature listings in our local community. I lived in Portland, Oregon, and through that process and with referral partnerships was able to take my income from $20,000 a year to $200,000 a year within about 18 months. So that's where it all started. I spent 12 years in the mortgage industry, and then I just fell in love with building technology. So for the last 13 years, I've been building tech platforms. HOA.com is my 9th tech platform that I built. My last was called Refer.com. We built that to over 5 million members of people that are building business by referral, including 250,000 realtors. Exited that in 2019. And now building HOA.com, which I describe to people as kind of like Nextdoor meets Angie's List.
I love it. I love it. Well, tell us a little bit about the difference between Refer.com, which had all these real estate agents in it, of 250 real estate agents inside of that 5 million, and how it's different from HOA.com now. And I think you're probably going to have to tell everybody what HOA stands for now.
Yeah, you bet. So we started HOA.com. We didn't have the domain HOA.com when we started this company. We started it as the homeowneralliance.com with a mission of connecting homeowners to professionals they can trust, right? That's really, if you think about BNI for the real estate industry, that's really what we're out to build, the #1 referral network for professionals who serve homeowners. So that's where we started. We actually got started with this company generating leads for realtors that we then referred off, and we had a partnership in a real estate company. And so we earned the referral revenue from generating those leads. Unfortunately, the realtors wouldn't follow up, follow through, and close the deals. And our income was dependent on their closing for us to get paid. And so we pivoted the model. And then about a little over 2 years ago, we acquired the domain HOA.com, right? Home Owner Alliance. I was waving my magic wand and said, if we could have any domain on the planet, what would it be? And I reached out to the current owner of HOA.com, and made him an offer he couldn't refuse. And here we are. So we are creating what I call as hyper local social farming. Okay. Realtors, if you're a realtor listening right now, you've probably been farming local communities for years, maybe even decades. Mortgage lenders have never really thought about this. So we're bringing the two together. There are over 370,000 homeowner associations in the US. Okay. 53% of all homeowners live in an HOA, but most people hate their HOA. So we believe there's a better way to HOA. We're on a mission to connect homeowners to professionals they can trust, but also to up-level and improve the way HOAs are run. So what we're doing is we're creating individual community pages for every neighborhood in America.
Yeah.
Starting with the 370,000 HOAs, but also the other 300,000 plus communities that are non-HOA. We're creating these digital communities online like a Nextdoor, and then we're looking for top-rated realtors and mortgage lenders that we can promote as the local experts, and that we can continually market and remarket to every homeowner in those neighborhoods.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited about it. You know, I'm an advocate. I mean, I'm part of your team. I love this program. You know, really what this does is this replaces the need to do newsletters in a specific area as you're farming them, because it elevates it up into digital. It elevates, and we're going to talk about relationships here in a minute, but it really elevates that need to do a newsletter in a neighborhood. That's one. Number two is, we all know, you know, way back, right, where there was a neighborhood magazine. Right. And when you opened it up, it had a little bit of this and a little bit of that in it. But when you opened it up, it had advertisements, because I know I was advertising in them. Right. I was advertising in them as being a lender. But then there would be another lender 2 pages away from me. And I go, oh, well, I haven't capitalized on it. So what you're going to be doing with HOA is really killer. And I don't want to talk about it right now. What I want to talk about is relationships. Then we'll talk about HOA here at the end. About relationships, because I know, you know, you and I both are really, really relationship people, Brandon. And,
100%.
you know, we love intuitively connecting people. We love seeing people expand because they have that, you know, to create bird dogs for ourselves, you know, that people have their antennas up looking for us, you know, all the time. But tell us a little bit about what you're seeing now. Because you're playing in a couple of different markets. You're talking with realtors, you're talking with mortgage loan officers, you're doing the digital marketing piece of this, you're talking to HOAs, you're looking at what homeowners are looking for, even if they're not in an HOA, but what they're looking for as far as knowledge. That's all relationships.
It is.
What is your take on what you would like to see, or what you're seeing as a new trend for both realtors and loan officers? And it may be different. Heading into 2023, what's the magic bullet in relationships?
Well, Jen, you and I were talking last week. Great question, by the way. But you and I were talking last week, and you said that somebody that was on your existing show was like, wow, it's all back to the basics. Well, the basics are relationships, and it's time tested, and it's never going to change. But whether you're using text message, direct mail, email, phone calls, or social media, it's all about building relational equity and building trust. And let's talk about referrals for a second, because why does somebody refer you? You know, if you're an LO or a realtor and you're listening to this right now, why does somebody refer that client to you, that homeowner or home seller?
Right.
It's because that person has a challenge, right, Jen?
Yeah. Yeah. They have a problem that needs to be solved by you.
And you're the answer to their challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you think about the actual process of a referral, we give referrals when we're trying to help someone. And the more that you can be known, the more that you can be trusted, and the more visibility and credibility that you have, the more people are going to refer you. So number one, it just all comes down to that relationship. And you and I both, I think, teach the same thing, which is the fortune's in the follow-up.
Yeah.
If you're not following up with people, if you're not communicating consistently, then somebody else is.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to say, if you're not in front of your clients, your competition is. If you're not in front of your referral partners, your competition is. I was interviewing someone, Brian Covey, the other day on this podcast, and he was quoting something that Grant Cardone says, and I know this because I'm in his wife's program, but that best known beats best all the time. And I think that a lot of times what we do in both of these industries is that we really hone in on our ability to write a contract. We hone in on our ability to manage the process. We hone in on our ability to understand programs and products, but we don't spend the time honing in on our ability to be the expert, to have that influence, to elevate ourselves in the marketplace so that people do want to reach out, and we're doing a client attraction, so we can get more of those relationships. Why do you think that is like that? And what do you think is the cure for someone who's listening to increase their expertise or their influence in a market?
Well, it's about repetition, right? People need to see constant communication from you. And then also you need to elevate your expert status. One of the things that we teach and talk about a lot is sharing your wisdom and your expertise. Nobody knows what's inside your head. They only know it when you share it with the world, like what Jen and I are doing right now, right? We're having a conversation. I'd say, if you want to elevate your status, go interview experts. You don't have to be the expert. Mark Victor Hansen taught this to me almost 20 years ago. He said, sometimes you can be the reporter. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes what you can do is you can bring other experts into the conversation. Guys, you can do this on Facebook Lives. You can do this through Zooms, local workshops, lunch and learns, but provide value, provide expertise, and you'll elevate your status, and people will be chasing you, asking to do business with you.
Yeah. Yeah. It reminds me when I was a loan officer, like the tail end of my loan officer world life, I had a program, and I was already podcasting, right? But I said, I want to do something else. So I had this television show. How did I ever know that I was going to have a television show, which I have now? But it was called Getting Real with Realtors with Jen Duplessis. A mouthful. Getting Real with Realtors with Jen Duplessis, right? And I would bring in my special realtor partners and interview them. We had a studio set up in my office, and I would interview them and say, what do you do most of? What's something someone doesn't know? What would you tell? That look into the camera and tell that listing client or that buying client, the one mistake or the best advice you can give them. And it was funny because I started getting phone calls and, instant messages, et cetera, from other real estate agents that I didn't have relationships with, asking if they could be on the show. And of course, my answer was no, because I only did that for special people. I said, if you want to be a special person with me, then, we start working together and engaging, then of course I will. But no, the answer is no. You don't get free advertising with me. I'm sorry. And actually, it's the way that I run this podcast too. I get constantly, I'm just inundated with, can I pitch my product? Can I pitch this? No, you can't. You have to have a relationship with me, and you have to bring value. And this is exactly what you're doing here. So why do you think people don't do that? You said what they should do, but why do you think people don't do this? Why are they hiding behind their little box of Zoom?
I think a lot of people are uncertain, right? They just don't know what to do, or they don't take action. The action is the separator from success and mediocrity, really. The more action you take, the more success you're going to have. And sometimes it's scary. Like I always teach people, the first is the worst. So don't judge yourself by the first time you do a thing, because it's the worst you're ever going to be.
I love that. Yeah.
Right? Because every time you're going to learn,
you're come up with that. I love that. I like that acronym matching thing all the time. So.
Well, it's my gift to you, sweetie. You use it as much as you want. First is the worst. I literally teach this to the companies that I run, and I help everybody understand that it's okay to not be perfect the first time out of the gate, right? Yeah. Consider it practice. And just know that every single time you're going to get better and better. And even if you improve by 1%, with repetition, you're going to get to 100%, but it might take you 100 times.
Yeah. Yeah. So pick your favorite person, your favorite relationship to do that first one with, and then bring them back for another time and say, hey, we had so much fun. I wanted to bring you back again. And then you'll be better the second time around for
Yeah,
them.
and I love enlisting a partner in that, right? Like
Yeah.
I love when you and I are doing a dance, when we're having a conversation, it's so much more entertaining than just one of us droning on and on and on, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so find somebody that you're very comfortable with and just
Yeah.
have a conversation. I've got a book coming out. I've got 4 books that I will be publishing this year. All of them are extensions of the Raving Referrals book. So Raving Referrals for mortgage professionals, for real estate agents and others. And as I'm writing these follow-up books, it's all about getting comfortable with the people that you're working with. And so it doesn't have to be perfect the first time. Find somebody that you're comfortable with, that's committed to your success, and do it with them, and just help them understand that it may not be perfect, but we're going to learn a lot. We're going to have fun doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so here's another question I have for you regarding referrals. So many people that are listening, we'll call them quote relationships, right? And the only reason why I'm saying this is because I, just brought on a handful of new clients, and they say, well, I have some relationships, and I say, well, tell me about the relationship. So one example, I'm going to give you 2 examples, and I'm curious to see what your recommendation is for people for really solidifying these relationships. So one said, I said, tell me about your best referral partner. He said, well, and this was a loan officer for a realtor. Okay. Both times. It wasn't financial. I want to work with financial planners. Okay. So we'll start doing that. But he said, my best relationship was with a broker who, he doesn't own his company, but he leads a team. He's a broker and he leads a team in an office, and we play golf together. We go have cocktails together. We do all this stuff. He goes, and I do business with him, but I never do business with anybody on his team. He never refers me to the team. So let's talk about what we do in that instance to create more of a stronger, deeper, I call them richer relationships, right? Deeper, richer relationship with that person, so that person feels compelled to tell others about you. Because he said, well, I just don't think he wants to tell anybody because he wants to hoard me. I said, no, that's not it. It's the indifference that he's perceiving from you. So tell us what you would do in that case.
Well, first of all, I'd ask for what you want, right? ASK to GET. This is something Mark Victor Hansen taught me 18 years ago. And the more you ask, the more you get. So what I would do if that were me is I would go to that team leader and I would start talking about his business. And I would say, I would imagine that your goal is to boost your overall team revenue in 2023. Is that right? What's he going to say to that? Yep, of course it is. Okay, so walk me through, become the coach, become the consultant, think through the eyes of how do you help him deliver the result that he wants? What that team leader wants is more revenue, more transactions. And so that's where I would start from. So it's not about you, the loan officer, trying to get, it's really about what you can give. Right.
So
if you come from that position, come from that energy and just say, look, I want to help you succeed, because quite frankly, it's a little selfish. I know the more successful you are, the more successful we will be, right? And it's always about we, okay? Not about me, always about we. So then I would ask him, what are you doing and how can we help? And how can we really help everyone on your team boost their revenue? Start looking from that consultant coaching role. And now it opens up the conversation. And then when he starts to share what they're doing, you can give ideas and suggestions. And then when the time is right, that's when you need to ASK to GET. You need to be bold and ask for what you want. You can do it from the point of service. I'd love to help them win too, right? Would you be open to us having a group session and I'll lead them through a business planning session for 2023, or however it is that you can make a difference for that team? Does that make sense, Jen?
Oh yeah, no, it totally does. That's exactly what I would say. And, I think that where this is coming from, and a lot of salespeople do this, is that there's this invisible wall that's sort of around the relationship, and no one wants to have an adult conversation. It's just, well, if I do a good enough job, then he's just going to give me business. If I do a good enough job, he's just going to tell his friends about me. And I think this is why I said the word indifference. It's so, I mean, I'm sure I'm acting like I'm on a long video. You guys should watch this. I was going to raise your hand if you just used to be doing it in groups. I'm sure all of us, have done that, where we're just saying, if we do a great job, they're just going to naturally send us, the business. But how many times have we not gotten it because we didn't ASK? So I love the answer. Okay, so
who are the best closers, Jen? Think about it. Who are the best closers in the world?
Yeah, well, Tony Robbins.
I'm thinking it's kids. Right?
Oh, kids
have no fear. They
me.
just ask and ask and ask, right? And so they have no fear of no, because they know that they already have what they have. And even if the answer is no, they still have what they have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're not asking, you're not getting. The more you ask, the more you get. Simple.
Yeah. And I think it's also just a mentality of, me, like you're saying. I mean, I was saying this the other day is, it's not a sales call, it's a service call. How dare you not? How dare you not offer to serve people? How dare you not do that?
I have a great quote for you, Jen. I was on this morning with a major influencer, and he said, I was asking him, I'm looking for a quote for the Raving Referrals book. And he said, I over deliver so much, it makes them uncomfortable. So they have no choice but to give back by telling others about us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly it. You create an experience that compels people to create a revolving door of referrals. Yeah. I think that's cool. Okay. So let me ask you the other one of this. So now this is a person, same client, same person, who said, I said, okay, so tell me about your worst relationship, or the relationship that just isn't going anywhere. Right. So we got a best relationship. And that's not really going anywhere either. But then we have the, sort of just another example, well, they give me business here and there. When they have business, they give me business. And, every time I talk to them and I call them, I'm like a hound on the phone calling every week, which I don't subscribe to, but, a hound on the phone. And they just say, I need leads. My first time home buyers can't afford any houses. I just need leads. And I say, well, and I said, well, did you ask if you could help? And he said, no, I didn't do that because I don't know how to help. Right. Which is why he's coaching with me now, because he'll know exactly how to help. Because I don't know how to help. If I offer, I don't know what I could do, because I'm actually waiting for them to send me business, which is a big no-no. So what would you say in that situation when it comes to developing really great relationships?
A great question, and I'm sure that you're doing exactly the same. So you and I are just so cut from the same cloth. But
it's sickening. It's sickening, Brandon. It's sickening.
When you're following up, guys, always think about what you can give. You should never be calling with the intention of following up. No one wants to have you follow up with them. Think before you pick up that phone, before you text or email or DM them. What can you give? How can you make a difference to them? That's one of the reasons why at HOA.com, we're so excited about our mortgage expert program, because we've literally designed a program where mortgage LOs can license individual communities, and then you sponsor your best realtors. So in our program, most of our LOs license 10 different communities, and then they're able to give away a sponsored pro membership to 10 different realtors. So whether you participate with what we're doing or not, figure out a way that you can make a difference before you pick up the phone. I was just thinking of you because of this, right? I've got a reason to follow up, follow through, and add value in every conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. You bring up a couple of really good points there, right? Reason, instead of, you said follow up, right? The word I can't stand is check in. I'm just checking in with you. I'm just checking in. So we've taken that out of the vocabulary of Kinetic Spark Consulting Coaching, right? There's none of that. I was thinking about you. I wanted to touch base with you because I have a reason. I have intent for calling and actually saying, hey, listen, the reason I'm calling is I was just thinking about you and I wanted to share an article, a podcast, a book, an event that's coming up. I stumbled upon an idea that I think would work for us, right? Whatever that is, but just having that intent. And I think that, we're speaking the same language. Okay. Thank you for
well done.
Yeah. Thank you for indulging us on, your take on these two, very polar type of situations, and what people could be doing this year, as they're creating these relationships. I've been talking a lot about focus to accelerate and not hibernate, during the winter. And this is one of the things you could hone in on, just these very small changes in your verbiage that you're doing. I hate the word scripting. So your verbiage with everybody.
Yep.
So
Yep.
let's talk a little bit about HOA, and let's break it down very simply so that everyone can understand. And I know I'm going to be speaking at something that you're doing next week, and probably not before this podcast gets out, but I'm speaking on your platform quite a bit. You're speaking on my platform a lot. So let's break this down. What is HOA for the loan officer? And because I know it's loan officer driven, it serves realtors too, but it's not realtor driven. So tell us a little bit about this from the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, so at the core, what this is a referral network for professionals who serve homeowners, right? Every one of you should have your own referral network, kind of like BNI. We actually teach you to create your own business alliance. So rather than paying somebody and going to their network, we think you should create your own. We've kind of got an alliance in a box, and every month you have different agendas, so you know exactly what to say. But at the core with HOA.com, what we're doing is helping connect homeowners to professionals they can trust. Again, it's like Nextdoor meets Angie's List, but you're the star. So we do a lot of coaching and training. Mortgage loan officers, if you want to sign up for our masterclass, go to HOA.com/Jen, Jen, and you'll be able to sign up for our masterclass and learn all about us and what we're doing. But at the end of the day, this is really about creating strong referral partnerships. We give you something to give to your referral partners. Whether you're a realtor or a loan officer, you should have a team of people that's out there serving homeowners every day, and they should be referring you the mortgage business or the real estate business, right? As you're referring them the painting, the plumbing, the insurance, the financial advisors. So build your business with partners. Don't be a lone wolf or a lone ranger. Too many people try and build it all themselves, and then it's heavy and hard. When you do it together, everyone wins, and it's super fun.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to break this down just a little bit more. So I'm a loan officer, and I decide that I want to join HOA and the Home Ownership Alliance. So HOA has a business in a box. And basically so what you're going to be doing is saying, okay, so you want to start your own little networking group in your own community, and you're going to be the lead, and you don't have to apply to be approved and compete with another loan officer to be in a BNI or in a lead share from a chamber, right? So
well, you do have to be approved. So we do background
approved
check
by
on
you.
every...
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
To lead it, but you don't have to be
Correct.
approved in the sense that you're competing with someone. And then from there, unlike a BNI where you have one of everything, you can have multiples of everything. It's an alliance.
Absolutely.
And so if there's a real estate agent who is your favorite person, you want to have them be part of this first. And then you can also reach out to people that maybe you're targeting that's a top producer, and you say, hey, I want you to be in my alliance as well. But the best part about this is that HOA will make the phone calls for you, so that you don't
in
have
our
to...
elite expert program. So yes, we have a do-it-yourself, a done with you and a done for you. We have an elite expert program where we actually look up top producing realtors for the mortgage loan officers, but we use a company called MMI, research the data on number of transactions and volume, and then we actually call those top producing realtors on behalf of our elite experts, and we schedule appointments with you with a realtor that's already said yes to being part of the program, but they understand they can only move forward if they're doing their business with you as a referral partner.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And so that's good. There's all these different layers. So it makes it very affordable, because I know it's very affordable. And then it includes not only the home services, but also the financial services. So you can have anybody in the home services, like a contractor, painter, like you were saying, shovel person, landscaper, whatever you want. And then you can have anybody in financial services, the insurance agents, the life insurance agents, I was saying PNC, the PNC, and then the life insurance agents, and the financial planners, and the mediators for whatever it may be. And you build this alliance that becomes your network. You have monthly meetings. HOA provides you with a topic of discussion, an agenda, so you don't have to think about it. And you start creating and building this huge power team that is all around the give that you're doing and the service that you're providing to everybody else. Now, it goes another step, and that is
Absolutely.
the HOAs.
Yep. Yeah, so what we're doing here, and this is really, you guys are going to love what we're building. First of all, we're creating a concierge program. This should be launched and live by end of January, where literally you as a mortgage lender or realtor will have a concierge program done for you with your photo, face, name, and phone number that you can give to your home buyers when they close. And we'll take care of everything for you at your service, right? This is a give from you to them, changing their address, setting up their utilities, cable and internet, insurance, solar if they need that, all of the different stuff that you need when you move in. Your homeowners will have a dedicated concierge that they can call, text, email, or set up a Zoom with, and they'll walk them through the process start to finish, all as a gift from you. Okay, so we're super excited about our VIP concierge service that we're launching. And again, that should be launched and live by February 1st. And by Q2, we will have automated and created community pages for every neighborhood in America. We're looking for great people to partner with and promote. And one of the things that we're doing is we're creating what we call our home safe report. This is kind of like a Zillow report, if you will, like HomeBot, where you can track your home valuations. This is what's going to get the homeowners interested because they want to know what that valuation is, and you won't have to pay for a HomeBot. It'll just be part of your HOA.com package and partnership. And that's one of the lures that we're going to use to add value and remarket you to all of those homeowners in the local community. So we're doing a lot of these things because most of the pros that we serve are really good at one thing. And that's whatever business they're in, right? Whether it's mortgage, real estate, but painters, plumbers, most of those guys go in ghost mode. They come paint your house and you never hear from them again. We're changing that and remarketing these professionals to the homeowners. And instead of Angie's list, it's going to be Jen's list.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And now you have dedicated homeowners associations, right? There can't be two loan officers in an association. So time is of the essence, you know, to make sure that you're securing a neighborhood you want. Wouldn't that be awful if someone came into your neighborhood as another loan officer came into your neighborhood where you live? So you definitely want to secure your own neighborhood if you're in an HOA, and then maybe a neighborhood you're targeting, you know, or a neighborhood that, you know, a real estate agent is targeting.
That's the key. That last one is exactly what we recommend, Jen. Go to your favorite realtors and say, what market are you farming? What's your number one community that you're going to farm in 2023? And now, if that hasn't already been licensed, not only can you license that as the LO, but you can give that as a gift to the realtor that you're serving, totally RESPA compliant, of course. But that way you've got something to offer, and now you're in it together. You have something that ties you to them on an ongoing basis, and it gives you a way to continually add value to them so that they want to do business with you.
Yeah. So you have the homeowners association, right? Or the targeted neighborhood, because I know you're going to expand beyond that, but you have that targeted market neighborhood. Yep. You also have the opportunity to bring them into your network as well. And you have all the additional marketing and retargeting and remarketing for your other relationships, as well as yourself. And, you know, now it's up to you to be able to be really good at creating relationships, because it's not just a buy-in. It's not just, oh, you're going to be on a list. This is where you really have to cultivate relationships with people, correct?
Yeah, and what's cool about that, Jen, if you're a loan officer, that's the business that you're in. You're basically biz dev. If you're not taking a loan application, the rest of your time is spent business development, right? And that's building relationships.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. So now I know everyone can get information about all of these different levels, all of these different things that you're offering to help people develop these relationships, to attract clients, to bring more business in 2023 and beyond, by going to hoa.com/JEN, right? And that's my personal link for getting you guys into that program. Let me ask you this question. But do you have a gift for our audience? Do you
Yeah, a
have
couple
a
of
way
them.
that they can get a book? Yeah, go ahead.
A couple of things. Number one, what I would recommend that you do is take our referral score quiz to really understand and rate yourself on how you score from 1 to 100 when it comes to the top 10 referral building practices, referral best practices. You can go to referralscorequiz.com and you can take that free quiz, and that will really show you where the gaps in your business are, whether you're a realtor, mortgage lender, insurance agent, whoever. That will be super helpful. The other thing you can do is you can download our free referral partner blueprint. It's a 16-page document, but it gives you all the tips and scripts and really helps you identify exactly how to build strong, profitable referral partnerships. That is at hoa.com/RP blueprint, referral partner blueprint. And those of you who want to download that, it's totally free. You'll opt in, but then you'll have all the information, and you'll be able to immediately start winning more business just by putting those practices in place.
That's beautiful. I was frantically typing those in so that we have them in the show notes when the time comes.
Referralscorequiz.com, hoa.com/RP blueprint.
RP, blueprint. Okay,
blueprint. Yeah, it's the referral partner blueprint.
Not RPB. Good. I'm glad I asked you about that. Yeah, so we'll definitely have those in there for everybody so that you can go and get started on this. And as I said before, every time I bring someone on, it's not always about the product, but you give so much in what you teach and educate people that your product is just the icing on the cake. And that's what I want people to understand, is that this is another tool in your toolbox. It's not a shiny object syndrome. Do your due diligence, make sure it's something you can dedicate your time to. And, if you start something like this and then it fizzles away, you're going to look bad. So make sure this is something that you really want to engage with. And again, Brandon, I say thank you so much for all of your insight and your book again. Can you hold up your book again so that we can get the name of your book that's out right now, which is Raving Referrals by Brandon Barnum, like Barnum and Bailey's, which we laughed about the other day because now you know my dog's name, Bailey. Yeah.
Bailey.
Right. So pick up a copy of Raving Referrals. We'll have the link there in the show notes as well, so you can grab that on Amazon. And don't forget to write a review. It's not enough to just get a book, but you have to go back in and write a review. Makes all the difference in the world. So Brandon, what would you like to leave us with? A quote, a thought, advice?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. Number one is we're also writing Raving Referrals for mortgage professionals and Raving Referrals for real estate agents. So if you're one of those, read the book. And if you're interested in being featured in that, I'd love to tell your story. I'd love to interview you and really understand what you're doing and how referrals are impacting your business. But, as far as a thought, there's one thing that we haven't talked about, Jen, and it's the thing you and I care about most. And that's, guys, go be a charity champion.
Yeah.
Integrate, make a difference in your local community. It's one of the most important, impactful things. And it's the best feel good, the best high that you can possibly have when you're making a difference in the lives of others. It's the most richest human experience that we can have. And so in the book, we talk a lot about being a charity champion. Jen, I know you're passionately speaking about that as well. And, if there's anything that I would say is go make a difference to somebody else today.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. People love, and I mean, it's a new thing. I say it's a new thing. It really isn't, but it just becomes more and more popular now about charity, right? Is being involved in charity. So thank you for bringing that up to our attention as well. So Brandon, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure as usual. And I know I'm going to see you in a couple of weeks. Or next week or this week. I don't
Can't wait.
know.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Jen.
Me too. Me too. Everyone, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen in or watch us on this podcast. We sure appreciate it. And if you have a few minutes, just go ahead and scroll down on your phone and write us a great 5-star review and put in some beautiful comments for Brandon so that we can look at that and see how you got a little golden nugget from what you did today. And your action item is go to hoa.com/Jen and get some more information on how you can build these raving referrals, just as Brandon has talked to us about today. So thank you again, and we'll catch you next time on Mortgage Lending Mastery.
Thanks for listening to Mortgage Lending Mastery. Be sure to subscribe to hear more sales tips, ideas, strategies, and tactics to help you with your personal and professional growth to multiply your results in record time. And if you like what we're doing, don't forget to give us a rating and review so we can continue to bring you the best content possible. Wanting more beyond the podcast? Join our Mortgage Lending Mastery membership community, where you will find extended interviews with our favorite guests, weekly training, tips, and insider secrets, fireside chats with Jen, free content, meet, share, and collaborate with other members, and so much more. Click the link in the show notes to learn more about this exclusive content. Mortgage Lending Mastery is an Industry Syndicate charter podcast. Industry Syndicate is the first podcast network specifically for the mortgage and real estate industries. Get the Industry Syndicate app in the App Store or Google Play today.